So, I wanted to come on here because I've just been kind of thinking about things. As I said earlier, me and my housemate are we're like examining old stuff and kind of just doing like helping each other do some healing, and just realizing, along with yeah, it's just been something I'm thinking about lately. I keep thinking I'm like done. Not really. I mean, I think that I've come pretty far, and that I'm like way more on this side than I am on that side, whereas I was like there all the time before. Now I'm like over here, and maybe like, okay, so let's say I was over here the whole time, and then like over here is totally fine, and I feel like I'm like here, and then like I get to a certain point, and then all of a sudden it's like I'm back here. I'm like, oh, there are more layers. But something that we were sort of discussing earlier, I'm so tired. One thing that we were discussing earlier, over the past several days, or the week or so, is that, you know, the idea of like our parents, how our parents affect us, you know, and you know, there are things that I had considered that she hadn't considered, and she had considered I hadn't considered, and you know, one of those things is like, I was kind of trying to help her with a little bit of understanding. You know, but it's an interesting situation. I'm going to speak for myself, just me. So I was talking to her about how, you know, like you can't be too upset with your parents, you know what I mean? Because, you know, they did the best they could, and la 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 la. The point that I'm trying to make, what am I doing? Get to the right point. There's like 50 points I'm trying to make right now. The main one that I wanted to come on and make was, I need some water, was, sorry, I'm so tired. The main one was like, I had already thought about this for, you know, for a long time. This is an idea that I've known in my head since I knew my head. And that was that, like, the person who I am isn't good. Not necessarily, not like good as in good and evil good, but like, you know, I'm an emotional person. You know, I mean, and it seems kind of trite. Sometimes it feels like talking about this stuff feels a little trite. But like, there's a subtlety to it that I'm trying not to judge myself for. No, I am not judging myself for. I'm not judging myself for it. In fact, I am applauding myself, because we don't have to look at the negative. We keep saying not judge. We're concentrating on the judging. Not helpful. So I am going to acknowledge that there are subtlety, there are layers to what I'm feeling, even though I feel that what I'm feeling isn't nearly as bad as what a lot of other people are feeling. Which is an interesting thought. So I was, you know, when I was a kid, I was told I was too emotional. and that I was too loud. I mean, and I am a loud person, I will say. Like, I don't modulate my voice volume, the volume of my voice very well at all. Ask anybody who knows me, I shout a lot. But I mean, when I was younger, my family were great. You know, they had their thing. They did the best that they could. But the message I got was that as as a sensitive, too emotional, I'm gonna go with sensitive and passionate child, that the emotions that I was displaying, the fact that I was displaying emotions was unacceptable. And the thing is about me is I don't really have a choice. I hate this laugh thing that I do. It bothers me. I'm gonna try and chill out about it. Right? Relax. Relax and release. Okay, so yeah, so I was told that by being who I am naturally, I'm annoying, and no one will really want me around. And like that it's not that normal ever bothered me. I never cared to be normal. It wasn't a thing. I was very proud of being weird. But unlovable, I think, is the message I got. That was the message I got. Let's figure this out, right? Let's get down and dirty with this one. So yeah. So the message I got, and this is not what they intended to give me, but the message I got was that my essence as a person, who I am as a person, just like my very being, was needed to be modified in order to be loved. I wasn't acceptable the way I was. And that's just explaining a lot. For me, it's not about anger. It's just explaining a lot of things. And that's something that I was talking to my housemate about, you know, how it's like, it's so funny. My therapist used to say this to me all the time. Anyway, it's, you know, be curious, not critical. It's interesting when you see it on other people. It is. It's interesting when you're like, oh, I get that now. Okay, yeah, I see that. I can see that now, from the outside. It's an interesting relationship. We're helping each other a lot. I think. I mean, I'm being helped. I hope she is. I think she is. It's quite clear that she is. So that makes me really happy. But yeah, to go back to that, like it just really explains a lot about what I've allowed to happen to me in my life. You know, I've allowed these things to happen to me. So I still have the happen to me part. Okay. No. Reframe. Let's check this out. I'm feeling all tense. Okay, what were we just talking about? I don't remember. So Oh my God. Sorry, I get very distracted. Yeah, so when yeah, when I'm me, that I'm too excitable, especially when I'm happy and sad. Like if I'm really happy or if I'm really upset, those two things are really bad. Don't do them. Because when I was happy, I was loud. I'm pretty loud no matter what. I'm loud. You know what? Happy is not the only emotion I get loud at. I get loud to pretty much every emotion there is. Except anger. Interesting. So I developed a new level of compassion for myself, I think is what I'm trying to say. Like I saw myself, I think because I'm looking at my housemate this way. I'm looking at her and seeing what has actually happened to me, but that I haven't had compassion for, which is a wounded child. You don't think of it that way when it's you, a lot of the time, because you're in here the whole time, right? So like in your mind, you're the same person. I mean, that you're not. You know that, oh yeah, I was young, but you have, it's the same consciousness, right? So you don't see yourself as a wounded child. You see yourself as unacceptable. All right, we're starting to piece this together, guys. Are we paying attention? But yeah. I'm tired. I was up till really late last night, and I couldn't get to sleep because there was a big windstorm. And while I didn't think the house was going to blow away, I had this idea in my head that the house was going to blow away. Not really. I was thinking more about in the future, like how storms in the future are going to be really bad. But why am I even talking about that right now? Because really, no benefit whatsoever. But, well, yeah, I was up till late, and I didn't sleep very well at all. Which means that I should really go to sleep now. So, but I wanted to come on and bring that up because compassion is important. Compassion for ourselves is important, and every once in a while, I'm like, oh yeah, and I have a breakthrough of like, I'm compassionate for myself now, and then like something like just right now happens, and I'm like, no, I'm not. Okay, I'm a little bit more compassionate now, but no, I'm not compassionate with myself. I'm working on it. No, I am doing it. I am doing it. It's happening. It's happening. It's so funny though, because sometimes like I'll talk about sad things that I mean, I talk about anything and I'll cry, but like Folgers commercials. Who doesn't cry at that one though, right? You guys all know the Folgers commercial that I'm talking about. Anybody from the 80s I'm talking about, they know. I just lost track. I went to the commercial in the 80s. Peter comes home. His mother comes down the stairs. She's so happy. I love that commercial. It makes me cry every time. But what I'll do is I'll start talking about like the bad things that have happened in my past, right? Like the things that upset me when I think about them, which I do a lot, and there are a lot of them. But sorry, okay, my back's getting all tense. All right. Sorry. I just lost it. That was too bad because that was a good one. Yeah. I think it was because I was seeing in her things, seeing in myself. I don't know. It's a weird, like, I see myself in her, and I see her in me kind of thing. So there's some interesting, like, understandings that we're able to have with each other, which is really nice. Honestly, it's really nice. I think this is, I think it's really well planned out. I think the universe did a good job with this one. But, anyway, my parents being, I was unacceptable, but I am, I was pretty pissed throughout my life, throughout my childhood, for not being accepted. I recognized that was not right. And I was very stubbornly myself. But I did have blowback. That's interesting. It's interesting to know that that's what I think, and that compassion. Yeah, I'm starting to realize that there are layers and layers and layers here. Like, I thought there were layers and layers. Like 3 or 4 or 5 layers ago, I thought that, okay, yeah, no, I know that there are layers. I get it. There are layers, each time. But there are a lot more layers. No, it's good. It's good. It's all good. It's, you know what? It is just an attitude of gratitude. It's an attitude of gratitude, right? It's an opportunity. It is an opportunity, because whether I like it or not, I have some healing to do. And so why not like it? Right? It's gotta happen. Why not enjoy it? One would hope. One would hope that one enjoys getting better, healing emotionally. It is fun, I have to say. It does feel good. But I don't know. Compassion, just have. I realized, like, the levels of like, almost like all of a sudden, like a little bust, like there's been like a jackhammer, like there's a layer of concrete, right? There's a jackhammer that's been doing this, and all of a sudden it just goes boom, and it all breaks, and then there's a whole layer underneath that you're like, oh, okay. All right, we'll see what this layer is like. So yeah, let's see what this layer is like. All right. Anyway, I say thank you to you guys. Say thank you to the universe for putting me where I need to be. She did a good job with this one. I'm really hoping that, it really seems to me like this is what she wants, and that, because I feel like that's the case, I feel like this is going to be really successful. I think I'm going to help people with this. I really do. I think this is good. This is good. Sometimes I just gotta remind myself, because every once in a while it's like, what am I doing? Anyway, I wanted to say thank you to you guys, and thank you to the universe for putting this all together, and for giving it all a purpose, and for giving it all meaning, and for any help that I can give people out there. So I can choose, even when I realize that I've been told that my person as a human being on this earth isn't a-okay the way she is, which a lot of people, don't get me wrong, I get it, a lot of people are told that. I just, because so many people are told that, I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, well, then it's like, wait, no, this did do damage. Okay. But you know what? I don't like to say that because it's like more of a victim mentality, right? We don't want to say, oh, it did damage to me. I felt damaged by it. That's more accurate. Yeah, so I felt damaged by it. And the damage I felt or feel or have or will have, because it's hidden up at the moment, but it will come. Whatever the proper usage of language is there to connotate a healthy and abundant and growth mindset. I'm going to stop now because like I'll keep going. So thank you guys all out there, and it's going to remind you that even if that's the case for you as well, that you can always find a way. You can always choose to have a grateful night.